What's going on, guys? This week on Car Dad Bill is a 2022 Honda Civic hatchback, stick shift, manual transmission. This thing is a blast to drive. Let's go for a ride. So first impressions of the Honda Civic hatchback are a couple things. First off, love the manual transmission. Love the short throw 6-speed manual that they put in this. And I haven't been in a Honda Civic in a while, so being in this newest version of it, it's really, really comfortable. It's really refined. It's nothing like the Civics of the past. It's nothing like the ones I used to drive growing up. But it's really comfortable and a blast. And it's not gonna blow your doors off power-wise, but it's a pretty cool Civic. Let's get to the review. All right, guys, standing outside the Civic hatchback, and what's the first thing you notice about it? I think it's the front end that kind of swoops out and sticks out and has an upright grille now. I think it's the actual hatchback design. It kind of drops off the back real nice. The black wheels, the soft color. A lot of cool things about this car, besides the fact that it's a Civic hatchback. Civic hatchbacks have always been cool in my mind. I like the 4-door design now because of the user friendliness, but it could have been a hatchback coupe and I would have been just as happy. The fake diffusers in the back, dual exhaust tips, flowy lines, really sharp lines here, comes all the way down to the front, drops off the edge. Very clean. The wiper on the back. Let's go inside. Oh wait, real quick, before we go inside. Look at these reverse reflector headlights, LED fogs. Nice looking exterior. Now let's go inside. All right, guys, inside the Civic hatchback, a couple places I want to look at first. This grille design, like honeycomb design that goes across the dash, is gorgeous. And I like how there's an indented piece here as well. It's not flat, it has like an indent to it that kind of runs through the whole interior that way. I love the red start-stop button after you start the vehicle. I like how this area down here is wide and gives you enough space to have your phone charging, have some other things in there. These buttons and knobs are very clear and exactly what they are. The shifter sitting nicely in the middle here. Then you have your auto start stop, your economy mode, parking brake, and hold. No, gone are the days of the, parking brake. Cup holders here, and then there's a storage compartment right there. Over there, same thing. We have that nice detailing on the window window openers. Then there's different materials stacked. So you have this like soft plastic material. Then you have the shiny glossy material. This is kind of like a rubbery plastic material. Leather wrapped down here. And then this is like a fake carbon fiber. It's just a texture. It's just a different kind of texture. So it's cool. I mean, I like it. The driving position is really sharp. I feel like I'm sitting in the Civic. Everything is like, this is not pointed towards me at all. This is actually like centered, coming straight out from the dashboard. The gauges up front here are all, video. There's no analog gauges. These are all screens. You can switch between them with these buttons over here. This tells you the different information on this side. This tells you the different information on this side. So you can kind of toggle through it and it'll tell you what's going on that way. Over here, same thing. You can kind of go through, you can see I'm getting 32.2 miles per gallon. And this is just a nice interior. It's a good place to spend time. It's comfortable. It has decent materials. Everything's thought out. Not bad, right? Looking in the back. Back seat, same idea on the doors. But these back seats have somewhat static seat belts. Now, Anna can get hers in there pretty easily. And there's plenty of room back here for the kids especially. It's not bad for adults either. All the way in the back. You gotta hit the button, lift the trunk. These lights stay on for your like your running lights, like your parking lights. Those stay on. Pretty cool. And then look at that hatch. Large space to hold stuff. You can pull this across, hook it in place, and then when you shut, so you have that one there too. So when you close it, everything's blocked off. You can't see anything in there. It's a decent sized space though. This can fit golf bag, couple hockey bags, couple baseball bags. It's not bad. And then those seats fold down so you can have that whole area. Let's get on the road and talk. All right guys, before we get on the road, real quick, the 22 Civic hatchback. It's a 1.5 liter turbo, 180 horsepower. Made it to a 6-speed manual transmission. That's pretty awesome. I enjoy it. This one has leather and Bose sound system, dual exhaust pipes, the LEDs you saw. This is a sonic gray color. This comes to an MSRP of $30,810 with 31 miles per gallon on their average. And to be honest with you, I'm averaging 32.3. So I'm averaging 1 mile a gallon more than their average, which is not too bad. It's actually really great for a car this size. So let's get on the road and talk about some of the good and bad. All right guys, so let's get on the road. Let's talk a little bit about the pros and cons of the Civic hatchback. And I have a couple things for both sides. I don't have a lot of cons, I don't have a lot of bad, the good and the bad. Because the Civic is what you expect it to be. It doesn't blow you away, even the SI, but it definitely doesn't disappoint you either. Like, you get out of the car every time knowing that you just had a great ride in a Civic and it's a great car. It functions exactly how you want it. But I digress. Let's get into the pros and cons, the good and the bad. Starting out with number one, balance is my number one of the Civic hatchback. Balance overall, balance in the steering, balance on the road, balance in the suspension. There's just balance everywhere. And it's very controlled and predictable. So as you're cornering, you enter the corner correctly, it's going to be fine. And then you have the ability to even shift, you know, on the fly with the manual transmission. And it's just a predictable, comfortable drive. And you know what's going to happen with it. The second thing on my list is the function. It kind of goes hand in hand with the balance. Everything's going to be where you know it's going to be. Like, you're not getting in this car and thinking, oh man, I might fly off the road because it's so fast, or I might get in this car and I might have to avoid potholes because of the tires, or just, you know, things that you think about when you get into a vehicle. When you get into the Civic, you definitely know it's going to ride nice, you know it's going to work well, you know it's going to function correctly, and it kind of takes the worry out of your commute, if you even have a worry driving a brand new car. Sporty is the next thing on the list, and you saw from the outside, it's sporty. It's got great lines. The hatchback design is a great design. It's just aerodynamic. It looks sporty. They put those split 5 wheels on it, the black wheels. Gotta love that. That adds to the sportiness. They have the dual exhaust, the manual transmission, and then the LED headlights. You add that package together, and it's just a sporty little car. It's great. Number 4 on my list is efficient. Efficient in the hatchback. So those are the last 2 things on the good list. And those things actually really go together, because let me pull out into traffic here. So the last two things go together. Efficient and hatchback. Efficient hatchback, right? So that's a no-brainer. When you get a hatchback design, you're gonna get lots of storage space. You're gonna get the open cab feel. The back seats push back a little bit, and everything works well, especially for a family. And like, I could definitely, if we had another vehicle that could hold 5 or more people, then this would be an okay vehicle to have as a second vehicle. It carries everybody, you know, as far as my family goes, and she can take her family. And then I can carry all their stuff in the back, in the hatch. So this form of Civic is my favorite personally, just because of its ability to deal with everything I can throw at it. It doesn't have all-wheel drive. Now, if you're a purist, which I kind of am on the fence on this, if you want all-wheel drive, I think Acura should offer it in the Integra. And then that gives you an option for all-wheel drive in this vehicle, but they don't. All right, so let's go over the bad now, right? So we went over the good, which is what you expect. So let's go over the bad. The bad are 3 things: no all-wheel drive, slow info startup, and overall slow. Now let me break that down a little bit. The information that comes up in the beginning of when you start the car up. A lot of car companies have a hesitation. This one's a little bit longer than normal, and if you have CarPlay hooked up to your phone when you start the car up, it'll really, like, if you want to hop in the car and get the score of a game real quick, or like you just left the game and you're going to listen to it in the car, it's not going to pop up fast for you. It's just not. And I've tried different ways around that, but the beginning startup of the infotainment center is a little bit slower than it should be. Small quirk, right? The next thing is just slow overall, right? Slow overall. So you're not buying this to win quarter-mile races unless you trick it out and give it all this stuff, right? So right out of the box, it's 180 horsepower. It's a 6-speed manual transmission. You feel like it's gonna handle itself pretty well, and it does for the most part, but it is just slow. I mean, you don't feel like you're ever getting pushed in your seat. I mean, sometimes higher in the RPMs, you'll have, you know, a little bit of a kick from the turbo, but there's nothing that's really like, wow, this thing's fast or this thing's quick. I guess quick is a good way to describe it. It's just enough to be able to get by. I wish it had 200 horsepower, because 200 horsepower is like the sweet spot, especially for something this size. And then add an all-wheel drive to it. Now you have a cool hatchback, all-wheel drive, manual transmission. I mean, it's cool for 30 grand. That's a good car. But that's this week's Car Dad Bill. Let me check my list, make sure I got everything on my list. But that's just what I think about the car. What do you guys think about the car? Do you like Civic hatchbacks? Do you not like Civic hatchbacks? Do you like other brands better than this one? Give me some comments. Shoot me some ideas. Car Dad Bill, real cars, real people, real life. Thanks so much for watching this week, guys. I will see you guys next time.